स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who descended on this earth to establish the Dharma, who is the embodiment of all the world religions, and who is the best among the incarnations. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing Sri Ramakrishna as a guru, Sri Ramakrishna as a teacher, how he helped the people, how he helped the spiritual aspirants to go further in the spiritual life. And today, I will be taking one interesting episode or interesting person, that is Mathurnath Vishwas. The connection or the relationship between a guru and disciple, and between the employer and the employee, and how it was beautiful. Here, the employer was Mathurnath Vishwas, who was the owner of the temple after his mother-in-law, that is Rani Rasmani, passed away. And Sri Ramakrishna was employee. But in fact, Sri Ramakrishna became a teacher and Mathurnath Vishwas became a student. The employer becomes the student and employer becomes the student and the employee becomes the teacher. And also, many times we think, oh, I'm struggling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing so much spiritual practices, etc. But still, I'm not able to get the grace. And also, sometimes we do think, I'm struggling and I'm doing a lot, but why God is not giving me whatever I desire, whatever I wish, whatever I pray for? This question also comes. And also, how these devotees or the spiritual aspirants, how did they receive the grace from the masters, from the God, or what qualities in them made them as the recipient of the divine grace or the God's grace is very interesting to know. Before getting into it, I would like to tell there are different powers in the world at the individual level, for example. At the individual level, there is a physical power, who is a muscular and who is a strong, etc. And there is a mental power, one who is a very strong-willed person, we say. Then there is an intellectual power, power of thought. He is a great genius and he thinks and he has got a very original ideas. Then the other is emotional power, which a lot of people are speaking about it, which is very important for most of us. Because of the disturbance, our life can be of hell. And the last is what? Spiritual power. Now, when you say these are the gradations, and the spiritual power is the ultimate power by which one can be happy at all given point of times, without changing people and without changing world or circumstances. And Sri Ramakrishna stands for this spiritual power. Under the society, if you see, the first and foremost is economical power. When there's a country is in a good shape from the economy point of view, then it more or less it becomes like a boss, it becomes like a leader. So economy rules the world. We all know that. Even Bhishma in Mahabharata says, Sarvam Kanchanam Ashrayat. Everything depends on money. And the other is military power, which is very important for a country, for a society, to protect the country and all. The other is again spiritual power, even at the world or at the society. In front of the spiritual power, all the powers have to kneel down, have to bend their heads. That's what we see in the life of Buddha. Buddha was he was a prince, no doubt, but he left his home on earth and he goes and he takes an ascetic life and he did a lot of penance, severe penance. And by that, he cannot experience the truth he understood. He took the Madhya Pantha, middle life, middle path, and he meditated on the Gaya, on the Bodhi tree. people tree, and he attained Bodhisattva. Now, if you see, he was a penniless beggar, penniless ascetic, but he ruled the quite a part of the world. Hundreds and thousands of people followed him. Kings, queens, ministers, intellectuals, common people, everyone they started following him. Now, same thing with the case of Jesus. Same thing with the case of Rama, Krishna, Muhammad Paigamba, or Mahavira, or Sri Ramakrishna, or Vivekananda. When Vivekananda went to USA, Chicago's Parliament of Religions, when he became famous from his first talk, then everything people started following him, inviting him, and all. But till previous day, he had a lot of difficulties with the money, with the stay, with an accommodation, and with people, etc., etc. But still, a society started following them. Why? Because of their spiritual power. Now, some of you who have read Sri Ramakrishna's Divine Play or the Great Master or Bengali version is Kathamrita. There in the book 3, chapter 6, as Guru, his attitude towards Mathur. This particular chapter I've taken and I'm in a nutshell, I'll be discussing. Now, Mathur was the recipient of the divine grace, and himself has mentions that in his horoscope, in his birth chart, there was a mention that he will receive his chosen deity is grace, and he will have the vision of chosen deity, that is Mother Kali. And we all know that he also had a vision of Mother Kali. All these things fine. Now, what was his personality because of which he was the recipient of the master's grace? And he was first among, or he was one among at the Sri Ramakrishna's initial stage where he could understand the greatness, the uniqueness of the avatara or an incarnation. Now, if you allow me to list out the personality traits of Mathurnath, which is quite interesting. When we read the books, we might have gone through this, but we might not notice. It might go unnoticed. That is where very important. Uh, what do you say? How Sri Ramakrishna's, sorry, Mathur's personality is quite interesting in study. He was wealthy. He belongs to wealthy family, but at the same time, he was large-hearted in his personality. All wealthy people will not be large-hearted, and all large-hearted people may not be wealthy. But he was wealthy, and he was also large-hearted person. He was man of the world. Just like anyone, he also had desires for power, position, name, fame, all these things. He's a man of world, but yet he was a devotee. Yet he loved God. He desired for God. He was rash, but he was intelligent. When I mean he was rash, means he was not just mere instinctive. He was tough man. He was hard nut to crack, no doubt, but at the same time he was intelligent. He was not instinctive, I can say. He was hot tempered many times in his life. We can see he was hot tempered, but at the same time he was quite patient also. I mean, he had a lot of patience in his life. He was very strong. Though he was strong, but he was not stubborn, but rather he was resolute. And he was well versed in English and logic in those days. Imagine, that is not a small thing. He was quite open minded, but at the same time, he never listens to anyone and everyone at all times. He was so open minded, though he was a wealthy, he was from aristocratic family and all. But if you're so open minded, if someone shows that his understanding was not right or wrong, or it has got some lacuna, he was so open, he used to accept. Then he believed in God. He believed in higher spirit. He believed in supreme self, but not just blind belief. If someone says God exists, okay, then he used to discuss, he used to debate, and if his logical reasoning, if he feels okay and accepts, then only he used to accept. He was a devotee, but he was exercising his own discriminative power at necessary times. Though he was from aristocratic background, but he was so simple, he was down to earth. He was open-hearted man, no doubt. He was open-mindedness. He had open-mindedness. He was an open-hearted man, but he was not even fool at the same time. Easily, people cannot cheat him. So all these excellent qualities, personality trait was there in Mathurnath Vishwas. So is it this because of this which he was able to receive the divine grace or the master's grace? Yes, maybe. So he had a well developed personality or he had a balanced personality. Probably because of that, he was able to understand and appreciate Sri Ramakrishna's power, Sri Ramakrishna's greatness in the formative period of Sri Ramakrishna. Because when Sri Ramakrishna came to Dakshineshwar, he was probably 16 years of young chap. He didn't even start his spiritual practice and other things. But somehow, Mathurnath Vishwas and Rani Rasmani, somehow they felt some attraction towards Sri Ramakrishna. As Mathurnath himself, elsewhere, he makes a mention. When I saw Sri Ramakrishna as a young Gadadhar, I felt attracted towards him. Three things. One is very quite interesting. One is because he looks handsome, which most of us we understand at the physical language, physical level. Even Sri Ramakrishna was also a very handsome, no doubt. More than that, he had a simplicity. Young Gadadhar was simple and he was like a innocent, like childlike nature. Now, there's a difference between childlike nature, simplicity, and childish. We should be childlike nature. As Master says, with a lot of practice, penance, and austerities, one can develop this innocence. One can develop the childlike nature. But one should be childlike, but one should not be childish. There's a great difference. We should not get confused. So when Sri Ramakrishna was seen by Mathur, he was attracted because of his physical handsome personality and Sri Ramakrishna's childlike nature, guileless nature, and also simplicity. Yeah. Now, why he could get attracted? The simplicity, guileless nature, everyone will get attracted, no doubt. But in his case, why? Because something was there in him also. As a Mathurnath Vishwas, I gave a list of his qualities. He was simple, but he was not a fool. He was a devotee, but he had a logical reasoning too. He was aristocratic, but he was down to earth. He was a devotee, but he had a logical reasoning too. He was strong, but not stubborn. He was hot tempered, but he was not, he had a patience too. So, probably because of that, a good blend, probably he was able to understand and appreciate and notice Sri Ramakrishna's greatness. Now, you see how probably he was blessed to be an instrument in Sri Ramakrishna's life, an incarnation's life. His life is full of blessed. And also, not only that, now, the interestingly, Mathurnath Vishwas and all, what you say, Rani Rasmani built the temple and she prepared a stage for Sri Ramakrishna's Leela, Karya, or whatever you say. But Mathurnath played much more poet role. He supported Sri Ramakrishna. He allowed Sri Ramakrishna to continue his worship in spite of all the problems, or rather others, others rejected and all. And not only that, and also he helped Sri Ramakrishna by providing whatever the necessary things which was required for Sri Ramakrishna during his sadhana period. So, and also very interestingly, how a Shraddha, faith, or the holy company, or the grace of the great guru, how one's personality can change is also a very interesting, to know or to study in Sri Ramakrishna's, Sri Ramakrishna and Mathurnath's relationship or Mathurnath life itself. Because only 12 rishis were able to accept and appreciate Rama. And same thing, very few people were able to understand and accept and appreciate Sri Krishna. Similarly, in the case of Buddha, afterwards a lot of people were there, but initial days very few. Same thing with Jesus, same thing with Muhammad Paigamba, same thing with Sri Ramakrishna also. Very few people were able to understand, accept, and appreciate Sri Ramakrishna. Otherwise, most of the people, they thought that Sri Ramakrishna is a madcap. Sri Ramakrishna is lunatic. He has gone mad in the name of God. including his own biological mother. She had her own doubts about Sri Ramakrishna's madness or his mental imbalance, she thought, because of extreme spiritual practices, she thought. But whereas Mathurnath Vishwas was able to understand, accept, and he also stood, he was a great supporter of Sri Ramakrishna. So probably he also had some a good qualities, a great personality in his life. Now, Mathurnath, and also if you see in Mathurnath life, he had some good qualities and all, no doubt. But he also had a doubt, he also had a faith, and he also many times his faith was under test, was under great calamity, great challenges, all these ups and downs in the spiritual life and in the conviction about the great truth, whatever we see, the same thing we can see even in the Mathurnath Vishwas life also. Though he supported Sri Ramakrishna, he supported Sri Ramakrishna. At times, he also had a doubt about Sri Ramakrishna's life, Sri Ramakrishna's personality, Sri Ramakrishna's divine nature, and whatnot. So, and also one more thing, Mathurnath Vishwas said that I was also attracted by sweet nature of Sri Ramakrishna. So one is so gentle and sweet means that means they are good. If someone is pious, someone is sweet, someone is very holy, that means they are good at heart, or they are near to God. Now, when when Master was criticized by people that, oh, he has gone mad in the name of God, in the name of spiritual practice, people started abusing, people started criticizing very badly. Now, we might also receive some criticisms for some reasons, because of our nature, because of our qualities, or because of the misunderstandings, whatnot. And what happens in our life? We get carried over, we get disturbed, and we may get diverted or distracted from our life, from our path, from our pursuits. But in Sri Ramakrishna's case, he bothered about it. And interestingly, if you see very minutely, if you study his life, you'll understand that he was beyond all that. Most of the time he had transcended all that. Most of the things, it was never used to enter his ears itself, because he was so much obsessed about mother, about God realization, spiritual practices. Hardly it used to even reach his ear. Now if you see, so this is a great lesson for all of us. So many things we cannot stop in the world, from criticisms and ups and downs and etc. But we have to transcend this so that we can pursue our spiritual path, and we can reach the God, or we can reach any goal, whatever we fix in our life. So we should get obsessed about our path and about our goal, and we have to keep on practicing, keep on practicing. So we are all think and imagine and dream about goal, but not only that, even about path also we should do, and we should get obsessed, and we should spend our time, we should put our heart and soul, then success will be ours, either in the mundane life or in spiritual life. Now, when Sri Ramakrishna was criticized for his madness, though he supported, at times Mathur had got a doubt whether Sri Ramakrishna has gone really mad because of excess spiritual practices, meditation, japa, or whatnot. So he was thinking one side. The other side of the mind is telling, oh, in Ram Prasad, a poet from the mystic poet from the Bengal, we see that he was also called mad in the name of God. Of course, afterwards he was respected and everyone follows him, everyone sings even today his songs. But Ram Prasad's divine madness has been proven and has been accepted by the people, no doubt. So he started thinking, in case of Ram Prasad and great mystics, great devotees, spiritual personalities, this type of madness was there, we see. Is the same thing even in Sri Ramakrishna's life? Or really Sri Ramakrishna has gone mad, or whether he has got imbalance in his mind? He had this doubt for quite a good amount of time. And as a result, at some point of time, fortunately or unfortunately, he decided, or he thought that probably Sri Ramakrishna is doing a lot of meditation and he is not married at the age of 20 plus 23. Those days it was common. So he is not married. So because of the strict celibacy, strict practicing brahmacharya celibacy, probably this has happened. So once if he enjoys some worldly pleasures, he may come down, he may become normal. He thought, and he didn't only think, he went into action. Once he took Sri Ramakrishna in the disguise of some work. He took Sri Ramakrishna to the Calcutta city from Dakshineshwar, and he made him to sit in a house. And he said, Master, please wait here. I've got some work. I will go and I will finish and I will come back fast. Sri Ramakrishna has a childlike nature. With all his innocence, he believed in Mathurnath Vishwas, and he said yes. And he was sitting, just quietly was sitting. After some time, there was a plan. So Mathurnath Vishwas went out. After some time, some ladies came. So they started talking with Sri Ramakrishna, and they started expressing to enjoy with Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna immediately he kneeled down and he made pranams. He paid his respects to them and he said, "Oh Divine Mother, today you are giving your darshan, your appearance in this form also. What beautiful, what marvelous, what magnanimous." Saying that he paid his respects, and that ladies they felt very bashful, very shameful themselves, and they paid the respects and they asked pardon and they went back. When Mathur came, they all scolded him right and left. We are already doing a wrong life. We are already leading a sinful life. Such a great personality is such a pious and truthful, honest, and pure person, and it's a great person. And you bought such person, and you ask us to do the sinful act. And they scolded Mathurnath Vishwas. So even in this exam, Sri Ramakrishna was passed. Mathur understood Sri Ramakrishna is not only guileless nature, simple or innocence. He was pure embodiment. He was pure incarnate, and he takes Sri Ramakrishna back to Dakshineshwar. And sometimes he also thought probably he has got madness or some problems, psychosomatic problems, and he got the two best physicians in those days, like Ganga Prasad Sen and Mahendralal Sarkar. Doctors he got, and he tried to examine Sri Ramakrishna. And the doctors examined Sri Ramakrishna and they said there is no problem in Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is perfectly all right. So physically is perfectly all right, mentally is perfectly all right, and even so his character has been established. So slowly, so Mathurnath Vishwa started understanding completely, and he accepted that yes, Sri Ramakrishna's madness is nothing of psychosomatic problems. It is a divine madness, and it is a madness after the God. Now, you see, sometimes even as a spiritual aspirant, when we start following a God, when we take a spiritual path, when we start meditating, practicing devotional practices, we will accept God. Sometimes we do get doubts. Oh, I say that I accept God and I am praying, I am meditating, but still, why am I suffering so much? Why I am struggling so much? Why there are so many problems? So does that mean God exists? Or whether he listens to our prayers? Whether God has got really powers? Whether he is God or she is goddesses? So all these type of questions do get this faith. I mean, faith is at stake sometimes. These doubts do overpower our mind. So that's what we can see even in the Mathurnath Vishwas life also. And some point of time, and sometimes even Mathur used to discuss philosophy and maybe theology and I mean philosophies basically with Sri Ramakrishna. While discussing once, Mathurnath Vishwas made a comment saying that whatever mm, God makes a rule. If God makes a rule, he has to follow that. He has to follow that. He cannot change. He cannot overrule it. For example, now a transport minister makes a rule that everyone has to follow the traffic rules or road rules and etc. Though he is a traffic minister, is a transport minister or whatever, but he cannot break it. Even if he breaks, he is also punishable, isn't it? The similar way, if God has created some rules about this world or the creation, if he takes birth as a human being, he also has to follow the rules. That's what the argument by Mathurnath Vishwas. But Sri Ramakrishna said, no, it doesn't mean that. Well, it is up to him. He may follow it most of the time when he takes as a human birth, he follows it, but that doesn't mean that he's bound. He can change at any time. He may even need not to follow it. But Sri Ramakrishna, when he said Mathur didn't accept, then Mathur said, if that means, for an example, in the mango tree, Only mango we can get. We can't get neem or we can't get coconut, tender coconut. Similarly, in the tender coconut, we can't get mango, isn't it? So, similarly, in the white hibiscus flower plant, white hibiscus plant, can we get red? Or can we red flower, red hibiscus, or otherwise? Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, if God wills, why not? Then by the time I think time was up or whatever reason, Mathurnath got up and he had stopped and he went. And next day, Sri Ramakrishna had said that, no doubt, because Sri Ramakrishna is saying this is a truthful person. He has never told a lie. So when he says something, it has to happen. And the next day, in the red hibiscus flower plant, a red hibiscus flower plant, there was a white hibiscus. In the same, what do you say, in the same twig or in the same branch, two flowers, one is hibiscus, red hibiscus, and the white hibiscus flower. So along with that branch, Sri Ramakrishna broke and he took, I mean, just like a child, like he holded and he went, he jumped, I mean, he went to Mathurnath Vishwas to show that whatever yesterday we discussed, today is the proof. When it was shown to Mathurnath Vishwas accepted and he said, yes, my dear father, master, whatever you said is true, it should be then. So, like this, slowly, slowly, his understanding about Sri Ramakrishna. Earlier, it was some sort of conviction, but now it was based on reasoning, and it was getting what do we say? It was reassured, or his conviction, his understanding was getting reassured again and again. And Bhairavi Brahmini, a young nun, maybe a middle-aged nun, she was well versed in scriptures, a great spiritual aspirant. I mean, well advanced in her spiritual life. She came and she taught Sri Ramakrishna in Tantra Sadhana. We all know that. She proclaimed that Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation. It is not just mere proclamation, it is based on scriptures. When Sri Ramakrishna heard, he said, okay, then he made a comment. He discussed with Mathurnath, Mathur, you know that Bhairavi Brahmini has come. She is telling that I am incarnation, it seems. Mathurnath Vishwas, he says, no, the Bhagavata says only 10 incarnations. So how can you be the incarnation? I don't believe in all that. Then Sri Ramakrishna informs Bhairavi Brahmini. Then Bhairavi Brahmini says, I am ready to debate, ready to discuss. Then both were made to sit, probably. Or Mathur summoned, or Mathur called, invited, what do you say, Pandits in those days, all scholars came, they started questioning, debating. Bhairavi Brahmini started giving replies, and she started giving references from different scriptures. And all the top scholars of in those time from the Calcutta, they did accept and they did bow down to Sri Ramakrishna as, yes, you are the God incarnate. But interestingly, Sri Ramakrishna, he didn't get blotten up. His ego didn't get blotten up by all these things. He was sitting and just listening, and he was enjoying all that. And when he was asked, what do you feel? He said, oh, I don't know anything of that. Only two things I am very happy. One is that he told, I don't know anything, only mother knows. Mother Kali only knows, first thing. Second thing, anyhow, I am free from madness at least. So at least now onwards, people will not think, people will not consider that I am mad. That's all. That is what I'm more happy than anything else. So his guileless nature, simplicity nature, we can see. And on Mahabhava and all. And also, if you see, once Mathurnath Vishwas, he was sitting in the Bangalore, where it is outside of the Dakshineshwar temple. We all know that whoever visited Dakshineshwar, he was sitting and probably was smoking and he was doing some work. So parallelly, other side, there is a building, small room where Sri Ramakrishna was living. So in the northwest corner, probably, Sri Ramakrishna, he was unaware of Mathurnath Vishwas and all. He was actually walking. He was walking in his own mood, in his own bhava, probably in the God intoxicated bhava. At some point of time, Mathurnath, while probably having a hookah, smoking, he observed Sri Ramakrishna. When Sri Ramakrishna in the veranda is from east to west, for example, from east to west, when Sri Ramakrishna when he's walking, Mathurnath Vishwas had a vision that the Mother Kali is walking. When Sri Ramakrishna goes back from west to east, and Mathurnath Vishwas had a vision that as a Shiva. And initially, he thought probably it is some imagination or whatever. He rubs his eyes and he sees whether I'm dreaming or whatever. And time and again, the same experience Mathurnath Vishwas had. So one time as a Mother Kali and one time so literally in his naked eyes he could experience the presence of the Kali or the Shiva in Sri Ramakrishna. So he was astonished. He went and he held his feet and probably and the tears rolling down his cheeks, and he started paying his respect. And even then also guileless nature, Sri Ramakrishna, simple minded Sri Ramakrishna, he started saying, "Oh my dear, what are you doing? Because you are the employee and I am the employer, and you are the landlord of this place, and you are the owner. And if you see, people see what they think. I have done something wrong or whatever. People can mock at people can make laugh about this. Please get up. Why are you holding my legs and all?" Then slowly Mathurnath Vishwas gets up and he explains that I saw Mother Kali and Shiva when you were walking. Sri Ram says, "Oh, is it so? I don't know anything. Anyhow, I am your Gadadhar or Sri Ramakrishna." So, like this, he had a wonderful experiences by Sri Ramakrishna's grace. By that, who is Sri Ramakrishna? Sri Ramakrishna is none other than Kali or a Shiva or the God incarnate. So, Mathurnath Vishwas was able to understand, was able to get convinced, and he also had an experience. And interestingly, once, so when you see Mathurnath Vishwas' life, we can see, there are four type of devotees, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. One is Arthi. Arthi means when people are in distress, when people are in stress, problems, they pray to God. Then Artharthi, desiring wealth, desiring comforts, desiring progeny or whatever. So we pray to God. Artharthi. Then Jignasu. Jignasu means one who wants to know the truth. Gnatum Icha, desire for knowing. And Gnani. Gnani is an experienced person about the truth. All these four people, they worship God. They revere God. So now if you see interestingly, not literal sense, but if you see at different times, Mathurnath was sometimes Arthi, sometimes Artharthi, sometimes Jignasu, sometimes Gnani. So Arthi. So sometimes Mathur had also had difficulties. Once I think a neighboring landlord and he was also a landlord, Mathurnath. Both of them had tussle and they had exchange of hot words and there were some quarrels and basically the neighbor landlords, they sent some people and he also sent his own guards to quarrel and to fight. They had a physical fighting, and as a result, because of some reason, Mathur was in a great problem. He was in a stress. Then he ran and he holded Sri Ramakrishna's legs and he said, "Oh, Thakur, Master, please, you should only forgive me. You should help me now. Otherwise, I'll be in soup. Otherwise, I will get into problem." Sri Ramakrishna says, "Oh, rascal, every time you now and then you do this and you come back and you hold me and you pray this, nothing doing, whatever you have done, whatever the wrong actions you have done, you have to face the consequences. Nothing can be done." But Mathur holds his feet and he prays, he begs, he begs, he begs. And Shyam says, "Okay, all right, whatever the mother wills, let it happen so." I mean, that's what his way of explaining. And he was relieved also from the problem. So, like that, so many cases are there in the Mathur's case, life, when he was in stress, when he was in problem, he went and he pleaded Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna's grace, by Sri Ramakrishna's grace, he was able to come out. And Artharthi also. And sometimes when he wanted some materialistic pursuits, pleasures, and all, he did pray to Sri Ramakrishna to fulfill his prayers. And Jignasu, he wanted to know about God, he wanted to experience about God, and also Jignasu and Gnani are Bhakta. Even this also we can see in the Sri Mathur's life and how it was fulfilled by Sri Ramakrishna's grace. And Sri Ramakrishna himself says that during those times means during sadhana period, when Sri Ramakrishna was a sadhaka, was a spiritual aspirant, during those times, whoever is to come to this place, means to the Panchavati, to the Dakshineshwaran Panchavati, where Sri Ramakrishna was living, whoever is to come, their spirituality is to awaken very quickly, he says. And that's how probably Mathurnath Vishwas' spirituality also got quickened, quickly it got awakened with the holy company of Master. Now, there were quite a few people then all those people's spirituality got awakened? May not be. Why? Because they were so worldly minded, mean minded, or they were not humble, they were not probably sincere, and they were not truthful and honest. As a result, even though they were in the source of energy, you were in the golden mine, there was a gold mine in front of them, but still, probably they were not able to receive that grace. Why? Because they were not ready for it, probably. And if you see Sri Ramakrishna's, regarding Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Shardanji, author, he tells very interestingly, if a person, after committing any sinful act, even murder, frankly and sincerely took refuge in the Master, he lovingly accepted that person and forgave all his misdeeds. He endowed that person with the power to recognize and realize the higher ideal. The impossible became possible by virtue of the mysterious power that worked through the Master. This is a strong statement. So the same thing we can see in the life of Mathurnath Vishwas. So since Mathurnath Vishwas surrendered at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, all his mistakes, all his sinful actions were forgiven. But here, terms and conditions apply: sincerity and frankness. Honesty, integrity is very important. Okay, very sincerely, very really, I pray to God, oh God, I sinned, I did a mistake, I did a wrong thing, so please forgive me. After praying, and again after some time, if you go and do the same mistake, that means we are not sincere. So we should be sincere, and we should be frank, and we should be honest, integrated personality. And with that mindset, if you go and plead God, definitely God will help us to come out from our problems. And He also forgives our mistakes or sins or whatever. That's what we can see in the life of Mathurnath Vishwas. So because of his sincerity, because of his frankness, because of his sincerity and frankness, he was able to receive the grace of the Master or the God incarnate, that is Sri Ramakrishna. And interestingly, if you see how Sri Ramakrishna as a guru, he manifested his guru power even. So when Sri Ramakrishna came, he was a young chap, probably 16 or 17, 18 years probably, and even he has not started any spiritual practices. Yeah, even he was not even priest, probably. Yes, he was not even priest. So the priest of Radhakant temple, while taking for Shenotsav, taking the idol for the sleep, unfortunately there was oil or water on the floor. Because of that, he had a slip, he had a fall, and one leg of the Krishna idol got broken. Now, now imagine what happens actually as per the rule. As per the rule, if a worship idol, if it gets broken, then we are supposed to replace, because we are not supposed to worship it. That is what the general rule. That's the reason when there was a Mughal invasion and Mughal rule, Muslim rule, especially in India, that's where if sometimes when they were not able to demolish the entire temple, they used to break the idols, either the head or some parts of the idol, so that the god is discreted, then they cannot worship, then the temple will be abandoned. So when they were not able to destroy the temple, because many temples were made from strong rocks and stones and all, then they used to discrete the idols of the gods and goddesses, anyway, which is a destructionful act. No, but it was not intentional here, it was unintentional, it happened, and the leg was broken. Then Rani Rasmani and Mathurnath Vishwas sent the letter, the problem stating, and what is the outcome and what can be the solution. So all the Pandits, of course, taking the Dakshina, taking the remuneration, they all gave the scriptural references, and all said, and all of them, they only meant that because the broken image or idol is not worthy to be worshipped, it is a wrong sin to worship, so it should be replaced with the new idol, and all the rituals has to be followed. But somehow Mathur and Rani Rasmani, both of them had some affinity towards that a beautiful idol Radhakant. So they were not really happy about the changing the idol. But everyone said that you have to do that. Then they had to do that, no doubt. But somehow, and suddenly, once Rani Rasmani mentioned to her son-in-law, that is Mathurnath Vishwas, why don't you ask this young priest, that young Brahmin, what is his view? Then Mathurnath said, okay, we have asked all them, we'll ask him also. Then he approaches Sri Ramakrishna as a young Gadai and asks, this is what the problem, what do you think? Now imagine Sri Ramakrishna, even he has not started his spiritual life or sadhana or whatever, but even at that given point of time, Sri Ramakrishna said, "Oh, if Rani Rasmani has got a already, I think three or four son-in-laws were there. So one son-in-law has got an accident and he breaks his leg. So what does Rani Rasmani does? Does she abandon this son-in-law, or does she try to get repaid? Does she try to take care by giving a right medical aid? What does she do? Yeah, she will not. She cannot abandon the son-in-law. She has to do some medical. She has to take the help of medical aid, and probably she should try to fix the problem. Then let this be the same case even in this idol, which was a great revelation, or which was a great answer which no one experienced or no one expected this. Mathurnath Vishwas was so happy, and when he conveyed this to the Rani Rasmani was also very happy. It is beyond the scriptures, no doubt, but it was accepted. Now the question came, then who will set all right? And Sri Ramakrishna himself, he set the all right. He jointed the broken leg with the main idol in such a way that even if you go and so very nearly, if you go and observe, even you are not able to understand. You will not be able to understand that it is the idol is broken. You cannot understand even. So nicely he did. He repaired and he gave, and afterwards the worship continued. And interestingly, sometimes afterwards, because even when the Rani Rasmani had passed away, Mathurnath Vishwas had passed away, and whether Sri Ramakrishna was there or not, I'm not sure. Probably Sri Ramakrishna also had left his mortal coil. Even some of the Pandits said, "Oh, it is a broken leg. It is repaired, no doubt, but that is not fit to be worshipped." Quite a few times it was told, and quite a few. So every time they planned something, they planned to change it for quite a good amount of time. They planned several times, multiple times, but every time they were unable to. Something used to come, and they had to postpone it. Finally, after a long time, one day they replaced with a new idol. Now, of course, the old idol is kept in the site in the temple. Whoever goes now, even today, we can see that. Now, if you see how Avatara Shakti, the incarnate power, the power of incarnation, how it acts, how it manifests from his childhood to the end, and even after his passing away, it is quite interesting. That's how Sri Ramakrishna, how he manifested his Guru Bhava from his young age, from his adolescent era, from even childhood age, is quite interesting. That is more or less same thing in all the great lives and great incarnates and prophets' life, which is quite interesting, and it gives a lot of answers and a lot of inspiration and motivations for all of us. May Sri Ramakrishna bless us so that we shall also have that sincerity and guileless nature, innocence, childlike nature, so that we shall be near to God and we shall experience His presence at all given point of times. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.